Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories. My name is Matt. I know this podcast is quite new, but some of you have been following along for a while now. As you may have noticed, the narrator has changed a couple of times already, in just a few months. The truth is, the podcast has been growing extremely slow, and basically nobody has left us any reviews so far. I'm here as the new voice of the podcast and would love to stick around, but I need your support to do so. Please, if you enjoy our content, it would mean so much to us if you could just leave us a review on whichever podcast platform you use. Now, take a deep breath and let's begin tonight's story.
Hello, dear listener. I'm Owen Thorne, and I invite you to settle in for a gentle, peaceful journey. You've come here tonight seeking rest and soft, quiet dreams, and I'm here to guide you with calm words and soothing images. Take a moment to notice where you are. Perhaps you're nestled into your bed, your body gently sinking into the mattress. Feel that soft support beneath you. Allow your shoulders to drop, your jaw to loosen, and your breathing to slow, in and out. The world around you grows a touch quieter, a bit more hushed. You can feel yourself entering a realm of calm where each breath feels deeper. Each exhalation carries away a small piece of tension. Tonight, we will explore a moonlit Japanese garden, adorned with cascading wisteria blooms. Breathe in the gentle promise of tranquility and let your thoughts drift, unhurried and safe. In these early moments, your mind might still buzz with the echoes of the day, tasks uncompleted, conversations replayed, worries about the coming dawn. Acknowledge them gently, then let them pass like clouds moving across a summer sky. Focus instead on the quiet warmth radiating through your body. Notice the softness of the sheets and the hush in the air. Each time you inhale, picture a cool, refreshing breeze passing over a still pond, carrying any fragments of tension away. With every exhale, sense your body relaxing, easing away from the busyness of daily life. Let your breathing grow slow and soft. Let your eyelids grow heavier. In this moment, in the calming hush of twilight, you are safe and at ease. Now, let us gently transition into a soothing tale, immersing ourselves in the unfolding wonder of a secret garden beneath the moon's tender glow. High in the night sky, a rounded moon casts a silver sheen over an ancient Japanese garden, where the hush of nighttime wraps every stone and blossom in a gentle hush. A small wooden bridge arches over a narrow stream, polished smooth by centuries of footsteps, sometimes bustling with daylight visitors, though now visited only by a quiet presence. Tonight, there is a certain peace in that garden, an air of patient waiting. A single figure, a solitary traveller, wanders the winding paths, stepping carefully across polished stepping stones. The traveller moves slowly, letting the hush of this moonlit haven sink deeply into each breath, each gentle footstep. Stately stone lanterns line the edges of the walkways. Their carved surfaces glimmer in the soft light, forming delicate pools of illumination that seem to float upon the ground. The traveller pauses at one of these lanterns, fingertips brushing gently across the smooth stone, sensing the coolness. The night air is soft, almost velvety, and a faint fragrance lingers, a blend of moss, damp stones, and the sweet promise of flowers in bloom. In the midst of it all, an ancient wisteria vine stands like a guardian, draping its flowering branches over a low wooden arbor. The flowers glisten in the moonlight, little clusters of lilac and amethyst that sway gently in the slight breeze. In the distance, a koi pond waits in serene stillness, its surface mirroring the pale orb of the moon. Occasionally, gentle ripples break the water's glass-like reflection. A graceful koi rises near the surface, flashing its gold and white scales before sinking back into the depths. It is quiet, so quiet that the faintest splash resonates like a lullaby in the hush of the garden. This is a place where time seems suspended, where worries whisper themselves into silence, and where the old stones and wooden arches preserve the memory of countless peaceful nights. The traveller continues, drawn by the soft rustling of leaves overhead. A small grove of bamboo stands nearby, tall and slender. Each stem stands upright, yet they bow in a whispery dance when the wind drifts by. Their soothing rustle sounds like the gentle hush of distant waves, weaving through the night with a hush that stills the mind. Soft footsteps approach the arbor where the wisteria drapes its graceful cascade of blooms. The blossoms release a perfume that hangs on the air, something delicately sweet, almost reminiscent of honey and late spring mornings. Beneath the arch, the petals form a living curtain, shimmering in the pale moonlight. Every element in this garden feels alive yet utterly calm. The shallow stream meandering through glistens with reflected starlight. Moss-covered stones invite bare feet to step upon them, feeling their spongy softness. There is no rush here, no clamour or commotion. It is a sanctuary where the traveller finds comfort. A small wooden bench sits beneath the wisteria's canopy, its smooth surface worn with age. The traveller settles down, allowing themselves to be enveloped by the gentle lullaby of night sounds. Distant crickets chirping, leaves brushing one another, an occasional drip of water from a bamboo spout. Everything fits together in harmony, as if woven into an age-old tapestry of stillness and grace. Time passes without measurement. The traveller's gaze drifts from one tranquil sight to another. First to the koi pond, where fish occasionally glide into view. Then to the bamboo, whose slender forms sway gently. Then back to the wisteria, whose hanging blossoms dance like painted lanterns in the silvered air. The mind of the traveller softens, releasing lingering tension, as though lulled by the garden's timeless presence. In this moonlit sanctuary, there is nothing to solve, nothing that demands immediate attention. There is only the hush, the gentle night air, and the silent companionship of a garden that has witnessed centuries of twilights. An old wooden gate, half hidden by trailing vines, leads farther inside the garden. The traveller rises, feeling curiosity tug gently at them. Each footstep is measured and soft upon the stone path. On the far side of the gate lies a small courtyard, enclosed by tall hedges. In the centre stands a simple stone basin brimming with water that reflects the moon's gentle brightness. On a low stool rests a bamboo ladle. The traveller kneels carefully, lifts the ladle, and pours a thin stream of water back into the basin. The droplets create small ripples that spread out in delicate circles, and within those ripples, the reflection of the moon wavers as though bowing gracefully. Beyond the courtyard, a narrow path of smooth gravel leads to a subtle rise in the landscape. Low shrubs and flowers flank the path, their leaves a soft green under the pale light. The hush grows deeper still. It is the hush of a garden in which centuries of devotion have been poured, a place meant to evoke contemplation, serenity, and a union with nature's enduring calm. As the traveller climbs the gentle slope, they see lanterns perched to guide the way, each one shaped like a pagoda. Faint glows spill onto the gravel, creating pools of moonlit silver. Atop the slope, a small tea house emerges from the shadows. Its wooden beams and paper walls gleam under the moon's gaze, and just outside the entrance sits a pair of stone slippers. An invitation, perhaps, or a subtle sign of respect for those who once held tea ceremonies there. The traveller stands quietly, sensing the slow heartbeat of the garden around them. There's no sound of conversation, no flurry of activity, only the faint memory of soft voices that once shared tea and solace within. The traveller presses a hand lightly to the sliding door, but it remains gently closed. It is enough to stand here, breathing in the hush and letting the mind wander into a place of calm reverence. A gentle wind drifts across the slope, carrying with it the fragrance of wisteria blooms. The traveller inhales, and for a moment they recall some faraway memory of a warm afternoon in late spring. Yet the memory fades softly, replaced by the quiet spectacle of the garden at night, where the moonlit blossoms guide one's thoughts toward the promise of rest, soothing away the chaos of the daytime world. Descending the slope, the traveller follows the path back, weaving through the labyrinth of stones and moss, crossing the wooden bridge again, and pausing near the trickling stream. All the while, the hush of the bamboo grove gently accompanies each step. There is, amidst all this stillness, a sense of gentle anticipation, as though the garden itself breathes with the moonlit air. The traveller notices the soft glow on the wisteria petals, the gentle sway of their delicate clusters. The breeze stirs them, sending light patterns of shadow dancing across the ground. It is a silent performance orchestrated by nature, one that asks for no applause, no grand flourish, only quiet presence. The traveller rests a hand on a boulder near the arbour, feeling the slow warmth that has been stored from the day's sun. And though the night grows ever deeper, there is no chill, only a faint, pleasant coolness brushing the skin. Time seems fluid here, measured not by clocks, but by the drifting clouds overhead, by the shifting patterns of moonlight, and by the soft hush of one's own heartbeat. In the comfort of this timeless space, the traveller's thoughts loosen and float away, one by one, like small petals carried by a gentle breeze. Gone is the rush of deadlines, the press of obligations. All that remains is the subtle hum of being alive in a tranquil garden, guided by moonlight and the quiet presence of ancient stones. If you were to peer closer at the Wisteria arbor, you might see tiny creatures nestled among the blossoms, small moths with wings patterned like petals, or drowsy bees that have found a place to rest until morning. Perhaps the traveller notices these friends and feels a kindred spirit with their quiet, slumbering forms, each living creature finding a corner of calm. The air is fragrant and lightly sweet, a natural lullaby that nudges the traveller toward deeper rest. Around the garden, each plant and stone and delicate blossom stands in perfect balance, carefully cultivated through years of gentle tending. Wandering further, the traveller finds a small waterfall hidden behind a screen of tall grasses. The water spills over rocks in a gentle cascade, trickling into a shallow pool. Moonlight dances upon the water's surface, and the traveller stands mesmerized by the shifting reflections. The mild, constant rush of water is reassuring, a soft background song that quiets any anxious thoughts. The traveller crouches down to let a hand graze the water's surface, finding it cool and smooth, a subtle source of renewed calm. Small fish dart in and out of the shimmering pool, their movements slow and unhurried under the night sky. The garden extends in graceful curves, with each twist and bend of the path revealing another moment of subtle beauty. Perhaps a lone stone statue half covered in moss, or a cluster of rocks arranged in a way that suggests a mountain range in miniature. These symbolic designs speak of nature's grand landscapes, inviting contemplation while keeping the mind soothed. Lanterns are placed at intervals, each one carefully set to create the illusion of floating lights, guiding the traveller toward quiet wonders hidden by darkness. In these hidden corners, the garden seems to whisper that there is always more to discover if one has the patience to pause and listen. And so, the traveller walks at a pace that feels almost dreamlike, each footstep carefully measured, each breath deeper than the last. They trace the gentle curve of the path until they once again approach the arbour, dominated by the graceful wisteria vines. This time, the traveller steps beneath the canopy of blossoms and sits cross-legged on the soft moss, letting the petals cascade overhead. From this vantage point, the moonlight filters through the clusters of blooms, creating shifting patterns of light and shadow, almost like a living kaleidoscope. The traveller closes their eyes for a moment, inhaling the sweet night air, and feels the rhythmic pulse of the garden around them, a quiet synergy of water, wind, and soft moon glow. Far across the garden, beyond the tea house and the bamboo grove, the traveller imagines the horizon where the mountains rest, silhouetted by starlight. Yet that distant world feels so far away now, as though an entire night's gentle hush stands between these walls of serenity and whatever lies beyond. There is no need to rush toward anything. The night is patient, the garden is patient. The traveller, likewise, finds a kind of abiding patience that blossoms in the stillness of the moment. Thoughts come and go, drifting like pale wisps of cloud across a dark sky. But they do not linger. Somewhere, a night bird calls softly, a gentle note that arcs through the calm air. Then silence returns, and all that remains is the quiet presence of blossoms and stones. This is a garden that has been cultivated not merely for beauty, but for the soul's refuge, a place to rest, to dream, to connect with the quiet rhythms of nature. And here, under the Wisteria's arching branches, the traveller feels that gentle lull tugging them toward restful slumber. The feeling is like a warm cloak around the body, soft and reassuring. Though the traveller remains awake, they feel a spaciousness in the mind, a release from the burdens that typically weigh upon them. The moon continues its leisurely arc across the sky, and as it moves, the shadows shift. Petals gleam a little differently now, illuminated from a slightly different angle. Dew forms on the leaves, catching glimmers of moonlight in tiny beads. Each droplet is a universe of reflected light, a minuscule star caught on a wisteria petal. At times, a droplet falls, sending the faintest sound into the hush. The traveller's heart softens at this subtle music, a lullaby orchestrated by the night. Perhaps the traveller wonders if the garden dreams too. Dreams of centuries past, of quiet footsteps like theirs, of gardeners who once lovingly tended the shrubs and trees. In that reverie, the traveller feels interconnected with all who have found solace here. After a while, the traveller rises again, gently brushing a few stray petals from their lap, and wanders toward a small clearing beside the koi pond. The pond's surface remains serene, reflecting the moon's pale glow. A winding path of stepping stones crosses it, and the traveller steps lightly across, pausing at each stone to absorb the reflections below. The koi glide lazily, their fins trailing ribbons of colour in the water. Their motion is hypnotic, as if they move to a gentle, unheard melody. Step by step, the traveller reaches the far side, where a single blossom drifts, carried by a slow current, swirling in a delicate dance. The traveller watches it, entranced by how effortlessly it floats, reminding them that there is grace in letting go, in allowing oneself to flow with life's gentle currents. Beyond the pond, a small rock garden spans a level patch of ground. Raked gravel forms circular patterns around carefully placed stones, each swirl resembling gentle ripples on water. The traveller stands at its edge, taking in the simplicity of its design. It is a reminder that emptiness can hold a quiet fullness, that minimalism in form can convey boundless serenity. Each stone stands like a small island, surrounded by waves of gravel. A hush settles deeper in the traveller's heart, a gentle acceptance of stillness. At this moment, the traveller might notice how easy it is to breathe, how each breath comes in slowly, drifts out gently, carrying away the last hints of tension. Soon, the traveller turns back toward the arbour, drawn again to the Wisteria's enchanting presence. The soft fragrance continues to beckon, a warm note in the night air. The blossoms sway and rustle with faint echoes of the breeze, as though they beckon a gentle rest. The traveller, feeling the inevitability of deep relaxation, once more finds that wooden bench beneath the drooping clusters. Sitting down, they take a long, slow inhale, eyes drifting over the illuminated petals, the calm koi pond, and the silhouettes of stone lanterns in the distance. A sense of profound calm washes over them, whispering that it is time to rest, to sink into the soft arms of night. The traveller closes their eyes, letting the gentle hum of the garden lull their spirit. Perhaps they recall the faint tinkling of the waterfall, the hush of bamboo in the breeze, the subtle call of a night bird. It all forms a tapestry of sound that guides them deeper into a comforting haze of near sleep. In this hush, there is no sense of isolation, only communion with the abiding stillness. For a while, the traveller simply exists, breathing in unison with the quiet breath of the garden. As the night draws closer to its deepest hour, the moon's light seems to soften, bathing the garden in a milky glow. The traveller's mind, now unburdened, drifts gently, like a wisteria petal riding the breeze. A tranquil heaviness settles over tired limbs, inviting them to surrender. In the hush of that sacred space, the traveller feels the boundary between wakefulness and dream begin to blur. The night urges quiet, the garden offers solace, and the wisteria stands as a sentinel, sheltering the traveller in its fragrant embrace. Now, the garden's lullaby gently recedes into the background, and all that remains is the steady rhythm of breath. Each inhale feels softer, each exhale more releasing. The hush grows warmer, closer, and the mind feels lighter with every passing moment. Drift now into a deeper peace, as though you, dear listener, have joined the traveller in that moonlit sanctuary. In this gentle space, your body and mind are free to rest. Thoughts float away on a silver tide of calm. There is no need to do anything, no need to be anywhere else. Let your shoulders soften and let your eyelids grow pleasantly heavy. Feel the warmth in your hands, in your feet, in the center of your chest. Notice how each breath seems to lengthen, easing you ever closer to a comforting sleep. Release yourself into the night's tender hold. Let the subtle rustle of leaves and the quiet trickle of water guide you downward into rest. Your body knows how to sleep. Your mind knows how to dream. Let them do so now in the serene heart of this ancient garden. There is no hurry. The story has served its purpose, gently guiding you into calm. The sweet perfume of wisteria lingers in your thoughts, and the quiet hush of the moonlit paths stands sentinel by your dreams. If your eyes have not yet closed, they may soon. If your breath has not yet slowed, it will in time. Imagine yourself safe, like the traveller resting on the bench, surrounded by the whispered lull of night. Feel the steady, comforting pulse of the earth beneath you, supporting you as you surrender to sleep. Softly now, the last traces of awareness slip into a gentle drift. The stones, the lanterns, the koi pond, the bamboo, all reside in a comforting blur at the edge of your dreams. The wisteria blossoms remain, shimmering in the moonlight, a guardian of soft slumber. Let them stand watch over your rest, as countless stars watch from above. May you find solace in this deep, healing sleep. May you awaken renewed and peaceful, the memory of this tranquil garden still lingering like a faint perfume. Good night, dear traveller. Sleep well.